welcome to a new semester of Culture Shock. We're going to start things off right this semester with our Oscar special. So the Oscars are right around the corner, and I have on my panel with me tonight Lance Castor and Eric Zahn. So let's just move in right away. When the Oscar nominations were first read, first by Oscar host Seth MacFarlane along with Emma Stone, there was a lot of talk immediately, not about, oh my gosh, this person got nominated, that's so great. It was, wait, this person didn't get nominated? How does this happen? Eric, I know you have a lot you want to say on this topic. Start us off, who got snubbed?
All right, first of all, Best Director. I can think of 4 people right at the time I had who were snubbed. First of all, Ben Affleck not getting a nomination for Argo is probably the biggest snub in Academy Award history.
Ever.
Whoa.
Yes.
I will go for it. I think it was a huge disappointment. I think it was a big mistake. I have no idea. When Argo first came out, that was the first movie that you were like, guys, this is where Oscar season
That's a front runner.
starts.
Ben Affleck's going to get some recognition for it. I thought he should have got recognition for The Town, which he did a couple years prior with that starred him, Jeremy Renner. I thought that was a great movie. Now he's moving out of Boston for like the first time as a director, and he did a great job taking a huge American topic as the Iranian hostage crisis, and they just let everyone down.
I don't know where that came from. I don't know how they didn't see this as, because as I was saying, when this came out in fall, you saw this, you're like, guys, this is Oscar season. This is where the nomination movies are going to start. This is where it's going to all come from. I don't know how this got left out. At least, I mean, it did get Best Picture nomination, but when you have a Best Picture nomination,
that usually comes.
I think there were a few movies, there were 3 movies at least that I can think of, that they got the Best Picture nomination, but not the Best Director nomination, which doesn't make sense in my brain, because I automatically think of, how did that movie, how was that movie worthy of being Best Picture without the mind behind it?
There are 9 Best Picture nominations, but the 4 that were left out of the 5 are just so huge that you missed it.
Right.
Like another one, Catherine Bigelow for Zero Dark 30. She won 3 years ago, I think it was, for The Hurt Locker, and I thought Zero Dark 30 was better than The Hurt Locker. But I think something that did deter a lot of voters was there's a lot of controversy behind the movie with all the torture they're doing in it. But they're just depicting what actually happened. I mean, that's something that happened. That's something that we did. You just have to deal with that. And I didn't think it was as bad when I saw it. Like the torture, I mean, there was torture in it, but it wasn't as brutal as I thought it was, or graphic as everyone had said it was. A lot of proportion.
And my thing is too, I think when there's controversy surrounding a film, that's usually when it means something went right.
Right.
Something here was like, people are talking about it. That's exactly, that's
what
the purpose of the movie industry, is to get people talking about these kinds of things. So the fact that there was any hesitation then for people to vote on it doesn't make sense to me.
I think we're just so limited. I mean, like as you were saying, the Best Picture has so many more nominations than the Best Director and all the other categories. It kind of waters down the Best Picture category with all these nominations, and then you look at all these other categories and you don't have as many nominations, and the other people don't get as much recognition as much as they should. I mean, Ben Affleck, he won the Golden Globe for Best Director for Argo, and then they missed it completely in the Oscars. How can there be such a discrepancy between the two? I'm not sure.
And exactly because the Golden Globes are usually seen as the forerunner of the Oscars.
A stepping stone.
Exactly, because you have a lot of the same people voting for the Golden Globes that you do for the Oscars. There are a few different voters, but so many actors work in television and in movies that they're gonna get invited to vote for both. So so the fact that there was that change, it doesn't really register with me. So I think that they, especially with Ben Affleck, especially with Catherine Bigelow, they missed the ball.
And since those 2 also missed nominations, then I expect other people who weren't necessarily on the top of my list, but near the middle, to take those spots, such as Quentin Tarantino for Django Unchained, which was my favorite movie of the year, and also Tom Hooper for Les Miserables, which I thought he had won for The King's Speech. I thought Les Miserables was a better movie. And I thought especially the decision to have live singing on the set would be enough to propel him into the a Best Director nomination, because one thing with Thomas Hooper that I'm not a fan of, he's a big he does a lot of look at me, put this person's face in the corner of the frame. I mean, I don't know if he thinks that's artsy or something like that, or like he does a lot of canted shots. I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but
I think it's obvious artsy. I'm trying to be artsy, but I still want you to get it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's his way of attempting to appeal to the masses and make us feel like we're a little more, oh look, I understand snobby art films.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a fan of that. Les Miserables is such a huge task to take on,
Right.
and the fact that he did it, you know, and did it well, I think that's enough to at least garner him a nomination.
I would throw it at a little. He did a little better than well. I did think that movie was absolutely brilliant. I thought it was very well done. It is the world's most loved musical, so to take that on is a task in itself. But then the fact that he can deliver, and he did, you know, I've seen the musical how many times? I've been in the musical. I still was brought to tears. The fact that he can do that, I think, was huge, and I agree, definitely warranted a nomination.
Right.
But now you, I don't know if you feel the same way, because I heard that you did not cry when you saw
I did not
Mis.
cry when I saw Les Mis.
I didn't either.
I just felt, I don't know, I was really distracted by the amount of singing. And, like, I mean, there were a lot of emotional scenes, you know, that would strike at your heartstrings. And I just did not feel it at all. I'm sitting there. I thought it was a great movie, don't get me wrong. I thought it was very well done, especially with all the live singing. I mean, they shot it all live. But I just did not feel it, you know. I was just watching it, and I'm like, okay, this person was shot, or you know, they're dying, and she's dying in his arms, and you know, he's crying, and I was
Well, I
like,
guess, you know, the deaths just seem desensitized when so many people die.
Right.
Like, it's hard to like connect to this character who's been there for, like, you know, Eponine. Everyone loves Eponine, but like she's on screen for a short amount of time. It's hard to really connect with her, you know, when her death comes, you know. But spoiler alert.
You said that.
The show's been out for about 35 years, not 30, 25 years.
It's 20, almost 27, almost 28.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it now, just whatever.
You're 27
Go see it.
years.
There's
Go
a
see it.
window for spoilers, and
You're
you missed
27
it.
years too late for spoilers. So, okay, well, with all the snubs, now who do we think, especially for Best Director, who do we think is going to take it?
Unfortunately, Steven Spielberg.
it's gonna be Spielberg.
Either him or Ang Lee. I guess I would throw my vote in for as well.
For Life of Pi?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Life of Pi is one of those movies that it's
More
like,
visual.
we're
though.
going to
Right.
nominate it just because, you know, people seem to like it, and it's got this really deep, motivating message, but we're just nominating just for that reason. We're not
Well,
going to give it to
Life of Pi had a great story, and it was just visually stunning. I know a lot of people said Avatar was visually stunning, but I hated Avatar. Actually, I've never seen Avatar. There, I said
Okay,
it.
but you can't hate Avatar.
I
if
hate
you've
it
never
so
seen
much.
it.
James Cameron is probably the worst thing that ever happened to the film industry. You're welcome, Bill Deering.
What?
You heard me.
No, that's not acceptable to say. I can say that I can understand that you don't like James Cameron, but the leaps and bounds he made with Avatar.
Change the color of my TV, make them blue. Watch Pocahontas. It's about 2.5 hours shorter. There's songs in it. I like music. It's
No, I'm sorry. Okay.
it's the exact same
I
story.
agree that it's the same story. I'm not saying that Avatar is the best movie ever made. I'm not saying that by any means. But I'm saying that the fact that what live capture has now brought into the movie industry and moved us ahead, and the fact that he brought that to the forefront of our
I
minds.
can bring live capture to the forefront.
He did
Andy
so.
Serkis brought
Well, that's
motion
'cause he's Andy
capture to
Serkis.
the forefront.
No, but Andy Serkis
Steven
has
Spielberg,
done,
Peter Jackson.
but nobody really like was talking about it
The
or doing
Adventures of
anything about it
Tintin.
until Avatar. The Adventures of Tintin was after Avatar
It was.
by a year.
But it was better. I haven't
Okay,
seen
it
it
was
in
better.
Avatar,
I
but
will give
I'm
you that one.
very sure
You
it's
have
better.
not seen Avatar, but I will say that Tintin was better.
All right,
than
let's
Avatar.
focus
Anyway,
on
back
this
to-
year.
on this
back to
year.
Focus on this year.
But I have this feeling, there's something in my gut telling me that Spielberg won't win, and I don't know why.
But he will because he's
But-
Steven
Who do you
Spielberg.
But
think?
he's Steven Spielberg, so he probably will. And Lincoln was kind of the first movie that came out that was all like, guys, this is it. Just be done.
Yeah,
Everybody
everyone-
just shove aside. Lincoln's here.
Everyone just assumed that it was going to be a huge Lincoln fest at the Oscars, myself included. But I think, you know, as other movies came out, especially, you know, around Christmas time,
Right.
a lot of big movies came out that people has kind of forgotten about Lincoln, I guess. But for me, that's more of an acting movie. I thought the acting was incredible in that. I guess directing has a huge amount to do with that. But I was a little bored. I'm not sure if I liked Lincoln because I liked it or if I was supposed to like it.
Yeah, one of those kind of things. I'll go with that. I kind of like more. I like those historical,
Mm-hmm.
you know, accurate kind of movies. I thought Daniel Day-Lewis was brilliant.
Right.
I don't know. I want to say that my pick is Steven Spielberg, but I just have this feeling that
Who do you think will
Oscar's
compete?
With everyone else
I mean,
just out of there, I'm gonna
Right.
go ahead and say
I know
Spielberg.
that's my thing too, though. I can't see anybody
He's
else
the biggest
getting
name by
it,
far.
so I would probably go with him. Let's move then to, because we were talking about Daniel Day-Lewis, let's talk about our best actor pick.
Do we need to?
Do we need a discussion?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Can we
Daniel
all just-
Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis gets nominated. Daniel Day-Lewis wins.
Right.
That's just how the Oscars work.
Well-
And I think deservedly. I do think he's a very
Oh,
good
yeah.
actor, and he is very selective of
His parts, his
He
roles.
doesn't do like 10 movies a year. He doesn't even do
He does.
basically two a year. He'll do one every couple of years. Because, and I think that's because, first of all, he's huge. Like, you have Daniel Day-Lewis in your movie, you're gonna get nominated. It happens. And I think a big part of it too is that then it's just a testament to being an actor. He will take the time. I think.
Yeah, he was
to put it out there.
incredible as Abraham Lincoln. There's just no one else that was nominated that I think can hold a candle to him.
It's not going to happen.
in this
well,
race.
Here's the thing, though. He is also nominated alongside Hugh Jackman.
Right.
Everybody's thinking it's going to be a Daniel Day-Lewis, Hugh Jackman.
Those are
Showdown.
those are
Well, I
two
think Hugh
favorites for
Jackman
sure.
probably comes in second, but it's gonna be
I
it's gonna
agree.
be a wide margin.
I really think that once again, it's Daniel Day-Lewis this year.
Well, they both play such iconic characters. I mean, Abraham Lincoln and Jean Valjean.
But
And then
Abraham Lincoln is
Abraham
real.
Lincoln is real, of course.
Real.
But Jean Valjean, I mean, Hugh Jackman
Real in your heart.
sang live. I mean, you have to take the singing into account, I think, a little bit. I mean, the talent's there as well. I know Daniel
Well, I
Day-Lewis.
just feel like when you play Abraham Lincoln and you do it incredibly well,
Right.
there's no chance.
Well,
that
because
you're
he's
gonna
such an iconic president, and he's so well loved, and he's so everything. Like, he is what we look at as the ideal American president when just because of the things he did for to move this country forward. And I think that when you nail it, which Daniel Day-Lewis did, I don't think there's
it's
a
a
question.
hands down
So
win.
thanks. So let's move to Best Actress.
J-Law.
Jennifer Lawrence.
J-Law.
Do you think Jennifer Lawrence?
Yeah. What do you
That-
think?
Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, I think it's between those
Jessica
two.
Chastain's got it in
Nah.
the bag. I think it's done.
I think it's between those two, but I would agree with Jackie. Jessica
Critics
Chastain.
love Jennifer Lawrence.
They do,
They do.
but critics don't always vote. Actors vote.
Yeah,
Directors
but
vote. People in the industry
everyone.
vote.
Okay, let's just say everyone loves Jennifer Lawrence.
You can't hate Jennifer Lawrence. I think she's the new Jennifer.
She's
Aniston.
funny.
She's
She is.
hilarious.
I
We
want
saw that
I want her to give speeches like all the
We
time.
saw that with her Golden Globe speech. That she has a sense of humor, and it's so weird because whenever she comes across, she kind of comes across a little monotone, a little unapproachable. But she's so with
Dry.
her speech, she's so funny. She had a sense of humor. It was great. So, do you want her to win, or do you?
No, I saw Silver Linings Playbook and I thought she was wonderful in that. I just thought I was just more. I remember her performance more in that than I remember of Jessica Chastain's in Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just think that there was a lot of talk around Jessica Chastain, mainly because if you watch Zero Dark 30, it's a mainly male-oriented film.
Except for her.
There's a huge cast of men, and then Jessica Chastain, and
So she
held
stands
her
out
own
more.
against them. And I think that's one of the reasons she stands out against them. And then when you can hold your own against so many men, likewise, if you're a man holding your own against a bunch of talented women, I think there's reason to talk. So I think that this is going to be Jessica Chastain.
I think Jennifer Lawrence, she's done a lot. This is like her big, kind of not really her first adult role, but her first role where she's played a different character than you've seen her play before.
Well, I think the big thing, she was nominated. She came to our attention when she was nominated I think,
Winter's
2
Bone.
years ago for Winter's Bone, and since then she stayed on the radar because she got the role of Katniss Everdeen in
Yep,
the Hunger Games.
X-Men.
And she was in X-Men First Class.
First Class, yes.
First
Okay,
Class.
I want to make sure I get my subtitles right. She was in X-Men First Class, and I think the big thing now with another Oscar nomination, I think she's here to stay.
Are you looking to get involved in media but news isn't your thing? Are you looking to be the next great sports announcer? Well, SPtv Live Sports is for you. Get involved with sports analysis, play-by-play, camera work, and more. There are plenty of ways to get involved, so what are you waiting for? SPtv, we want you to get involved.
Okay, let's move to then the supporting actor and actress. So let's start with supporting actor.
Christoph Waltz.
Christoph.
Christoph Waltz.
Okay.
I think Christoph Waltz for Django Unchained.
Well,
I don't
Are
think-
we naming our actual choices?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, no.
What have you been doing?
no, I haven't. I want Christoph Waltz to win, but I don't think he will.
Who do you think
Who do
will?
you think?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Lee Jones did just win the Screen Actors Guild Award of 2013 for Lincoln, but Christoph Waltz won for Django Unchained for the Golden Globe.
We'll talk
So
about that later.
That's the
though.
question. That's the question: is which one was right?
Well, the SAG Awards were right because the Golden Globes, while they're fun to watch and very entertaining and funny and a little drunk, have no credibility.
Really?
The Hollywood Foreign Press has no credibility, and it's just like it's like you may as well have it's as much as it pains me, they have about as much credibility maybe as the People's Choice Awards.
Whoa.
That's pretty harsh.
That's quite the accusation.
Yeah.
The
little-
Kids' Choice Awards.
Okay, even
a
better.
little
Kids'
blimp. Tiny barrel. But no, I mean, I want Christoph Waltz to win. I thought he was wonderful in Django Unchained. As a fan of Inglourious Bastards, I thought
I love
he was
Inglourious
better
Basterds.
in this. I guess it's easier to like someone when they're not a Nazi, but he was in it more and he was funnier, I guess. But I just really enjoyed his performance.
Before the Golden Globes, people were talking more about Christoph Waltz and Django Unchained and Argo and all that kind of stuff. And then after the Golden Globes was when they started more talking about Lincoln and Tommy Lee Jones. And oh my God, this is going to be great. So I definitely think it's between those two. I still am gunning for Christoph Waltz.
I don't mind who wins this award. I mean, I'm fine with all the nominees in this category. You got De Niro,
Right.
um,
Arkin.
Alan Arkin, who was hilarious in Argo, great comic relief. Philip Seymour Hoffman in The
Right,
Master.
right.
Yep.
Still don't know what that movie's about.
Best Actress. For me, there's no contest. There is no contest. It's Anne Hathaway. It is Anne Hathaway's year
Not Naomi
for Les
Watts.
Mis. No.
I'm kidding. It's Anne Hathaway.
Nobody's talking
Wasn't
about
Anne
Naomi
Hathaway
Watts.
Best Supporting Actress?
Yes,
Yes,
that's what
Best
we were.
Supporting.
Best Supporting Actress. I think
I think-
just no contest. When you watch Les Mis, you watch her song. As Fontaine, she sings the song "I Dreamed a Dream." She did the whole thing in one take, live sung. There wasn't a single edit in that song. I saw the movie twice. I watched. Didn't happen. You don't not win for that. It was disgustingly awesome.
I think she's playing Fontaine. Considered one of the most tragic characters in musical theater history. You win.
Yeah. And you do it well. Exactly. You just
That's I know a lot of people are considering that the definitive version of that song now, which I'd agree. Because the one thing that always bothered me with that song, a side note, on Broadway or on stage, it's always so operatic
And pretty.
and so pretty. You're
Pretty.
dying.
She was
You're
sobbing.
dying.
You're
You're not.
right.
Oh, tree, It's like, you're not gonna celebrate that. You're dying.
Well, not
You
even-
had
well, that show.
tuberculosis. You're dying.
I'm so with you on that.
And at one point, she almost seemed like she choked on her words.
She did. Like
That's awesome. That's acting.
Well, I almost cried, so that means
Almost.
something
Almost.
when that happens.
almost. So yeah, I definitely
competition.
think. I don't think we don't even need to talk about anybody
Nope.
else because
No.
it's her. Because if she doesn't win,
It's gonna be a huge upset.
there's not even just a huge upset. I'm pretty sure the Oscars are going to be banned for life. At least
Okay.
I will never be watching them again because at that point, then they will have less credibility than the Kids' Choice Awards. If Anne Hathaway doesn't win, I will go so far as to say it. You gonna say that's harsh? Is that what you're going for?
A little bit harsh.
A little bit.
A little harsh.
I
A lot of harsh.
I cannot see how I could ever take the Academy seriously again if Anne Hathaway doesn't win.
Right.
Moving on to, I think the last one I said we were going to talk about, Best Picture, the granddaddy of them all, if you will. Who's going to take it?
I'd like to say Argo,
I don't
but
know.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Zero Dark 30, I think.
No,
You don't think?
Nah, like I said, the Controversy Academy does not like controversy.
But like you were saying earlier, that's what happened.
yeah.
And it is pretty
So,
accurate.
but the thing is, like, the Academy has a history of voting, of, not, when movies are grittier or just more real, the Academy tends not to acknowledge that. For
Well,
some
Slumdog Millionaire won, and that was a little.
reason. I guess so.
That
Iffy.
one did kind of come
But the
out,
Academy
though,
also
I
did
think.
not give Scorsese an award until The Departed.
That's true.
Which was deserved. Departed was amazing.
It was,
I love
but
that movie.
it was also a remake, and he's had far more.
He did.
Worthy.
Fellas, Taxi Driver.
You Scorsese fan?
Yes.
I could tell. Yeah. I'm
Age
gonna
of
go-
Innocence. That was terrible.
I've seen that movie, but Daniel
Daniel
Day-Lewis
Day-Lewis!
won that movie.
Daniel
That was one of
Day-Lewis.
his first ones where it was like, oh look, he won again. I do think Argo will win.
I think it will.
I think because the Golden Globes were so favorable towards Argo, I think that the snubs are gonna have ticked off Hollywood, and I really think that they're gonna come through, and I think Argo will end up taking it.
I think Argo will win just because the Academy likes to mess with people. Like, hey, look at us. We gave them Best Picture, but we're going to ignore the guy who put the whole movie together. That's just what they're going to do.
Hi, I'm Ian McKay, content director here at SPtv. I'm here to remind you that when rocking out, please be aware of your surroundings. Objects in the room may seem further away than they appear, so always, always be sure to wear a helmet. It may look dorky, yeah, but it may save your life.
So we kind of touched upon this a little bit, talking about interspersing what our predictions are with this. But first of all, did you watch the Golden Globes, or have you seen who won and all that kind of stuff?
A little bit.
Was there any shock for you? Was there anything that was like, wait, what? Or make you change your mind about how you think the Oscars
I
are
changed
going
my
to
mind
go?
about Jodie Foster. She's crazy. I don't know what the speech was about. I know, like, me and all my friends back home were like, what was that? But at the awards show, they gave her a standing ovation. I don't know what she said.
I think she kept going on topic after topic after topic. What sticks out for me was the emotional moment that she was talking about her mom and her kids and her family and all that kind of stuff. But then she started going off about, like, she kind of came out, quote unquote, if you will, which didn't need to be said because we all knew she was gay.
It was all.
But she officially went on the record.
On a big
Did
stage.
she? That's the thing.
Kind of.
That's like.
Kind
Did
of.
she? Did she not? But she did a long time
'cause
ago.
she never like officially came out. She was just all of a sudden like, hey, I have a girlfriend and we have kids and blah blah blah. And she also like started hinting that she was gonna quit acting.
Yeah.
And then promptly after that said, no, I'm not quitting acting. And we were like, but then what was that whole thing about? Change, my friends. It's a good thing. Like, okay, so that means you're not gonna be in the industry anymore. But apparently she just wants to direct now.
But the thing is, like, when your two big friends you bring along are Mel Gibson and Robert Downey Jr.
Oh boy.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
That was so awkward. Mel Gibson is officially a pariah of Hollywood after
He's
all.
crying.
He's crazy. They were going back to him like every 3 seconds. It felt like every minute, once a minute. They were like Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson. Guys, we don't like Mel Gibson.
Nope.
We don't care about Mel Gibson. The fact that Mel Gibson was there at any Hollywood event, I think now is extremely inappropriate.
Ratings, Jackie. Just pump them up.
The ratings went up when Bill Clinton showed up, former President Bill Clinton. Okay. Everybody was like, whoosh. The entire room just went, what is he doing here? I don't know what happened. And I thought it was a little random, but then it made a little more sense when they were like, oh, he's going to introduce Lincoln. Okay, but he didn't have anything to do with the movie. He's
Nope.
just an ex-president.
Well, they're both presidents. Something.
That's about it.
Yeah.
They had white hair. Well, no, Lincoln didn't have white
No,
hair.
Lincoln didn't have black hair.
Didn't have time to grow it.
Clinton didn't have a beard.
Oh, that was
That's too
so
mean.
horrible.
I'm sorry.
But anyway, other than that, I think the Golden Globes had been in decline, which is weird because it is Hollywood's most laid-back award show. It's like
It's fun.
I think the thing with the Oscars, like
But yeah, because everyone wants the Oscar.
Right.
It's just recognizable.
Yeah.
It's a big
So I
thing.
think that one always has good viewings, even though in the past their ceremonies have been so boring and long and ridiculous. You remember a couple of years ago when they brought back to introduce the Best Actress, Best Actor, Best Director, I think nominees. They had like previous winners come out and read the bios. I'm like, that takes forever. We don't care. Say their name, show a clip, move on. The fact that they did not do that the next year was not surprising. It just extended the ceremony so much, and they were cutting off so many speeches so early. It was so ludicrous.
Another reason that Golden Globe is more laid back is they have a whole comedy section for TV
Right.
and for films. So you have comedians that are presenting awards like Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell's presentation.
Hilarious. Oh my God.
Probably one of the funniest
Please
presentations.
let them host next
Also,
year.
yes, I was fine with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. They were just as harsh as Ricky Gervais was, but they got away with it because
I don't think they were even close to as harsh as Ricky Gervais is.
I think they were just as harsh.
Some of their remarks were a little cutting, like proper cutting. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, when Tina Fey did that dig on Taylor Swift, I was like, yes.
And the Tarantino dig was good too.
Oh my God, that was funny.
Speaking of people who did not think things were funny at the Golden Globes, thanks to the Golden Globes, we got the best picture ever of Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Just that's seriously all he did. But they cut to him during, I think it was Kristen Wiig and Will Ferrell's thing, and they just looked at him and he just looked like that the entire time.
Yeah,
it was so awesome.
They made a joke because Meryl was nominated for Hope Springs, which she was nominated in.
Yep.
Which she was in, and since she wasn't there, they showed him, and he was not. He didn't think it was funny.
No. It was awesome. I thought the Golden Globes were great. I think they were better this year than they ever have been, which pains me to say because I am a huge Ricky Gervais fan, and I love that he hosts, and I love that he's so biting and he's so mean. I just love it. But I really think that along with the hosts, they changed up the different things they did during the ceremony. I thought it just made it so much better, and I cannot wait for next year because I think next year is going to be, hopefully they just keep moving in the right direction. Right. Going back to talking about hosts, the Oscars are finally, thank you, trying to garner in, once again, a younger audience by bringing in Seth MacFarlane as the host. They tried it a couple years ago when they did Anne Hathaway and James Franco as the host. They were like, oh, we're going to give it to young people. And James Franco was horrible.
He was.
And Anne Hathaway was over the top.
Anne Hathaway was so excited and so giddy that she was just a nervous ball of energy, and I felt so bad because I love her so much, but she just couldn't contain it all. And James Franco was like high or drunk or both the entire time. He was so useless. He didn't participate. It was just a train wreck, and I felt they actually made a joke about it. I think at the Golden Globes about how Anne Hathaway had to host the Oscars by herself because James Franco didn't do a darn thing. He didn't do anything. Do we think that is Seth MacFarlane going to get the younger audience back on track?
He could. I mean, there are a lot of things I think they're doing to try to bring the younger audience in. Like I read somewhere that Mark Wahlberg said that him and Ted were going to be making an appearance during the Oscars at some point. Something that some buzz are trying to generate. All the fans said Ted, they're going to watch the Oscars. They want to see Ted. He's obviously not going to be as crass as he is in the movie.
I think we got a precursor of it when we saw the nomination announcements from Emma Stone and Seth MacFarlane. It was funny, which is weird because it's 5:30 in the morning on the West Coast when they do that. Nobody's happy to be there. They're tired. They're cranky. Yeah. And he was funny, and the audience was in stitches. I thought.
And the thing is, I think since he's a really funny guy, I think he knows that this is a totally different environment than what Family Guy or Ted is. So he's going to adapt to that environment, and he's going to make jokes that are more appropriate for the setting.
I think that's going to happen as well. I mean, the Oscars, it's such a big stage, and yeah, it is a little raunchy and crass and all of those things and crude, but everyone's going to watch this. We're going to watch the Oscars, and while he sometimes is a little more low culture than high culture, which is, I mean, there's a big parallel here, Family Guy versus the Oscars. But I think he'll be up to the task, and hopefully he does draw in that younger audience because I think that they're going to miss out. They're missing out if they don't tune in, and I think hopefully he'll just stay appropriate enough while being funny to get the laughs he wants.
And the Academy wouldn't hire him if they didn't think he couldn't do it.
Right, exactly. No one. I mean, all the hosts in the past, at least outside of Franco, have been capable.
I think all around we're going to look at a very kind of unexpected Oscars season this year. I think Seth MacFarlane's going to do great. I think that some of the awards are going to be hit or miss between a few great contenders, which is strange because in the past it's always been like, guys, there's a clear winner. We know this person's going to win. So I think this year is going to be very good for that. But thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
So until next time, take it easy, Stevens Point.
The American Legion, we're a powerful force for the nation. We work relentlessly within our 4 pillars of service, and we succeed. Go to legion.org to find out more about the American Legion's commitment of service to America.